So I think right now, lots of people are probably asking themselves the question, is Jordan Love ready to take over if Aaron Rodgers decides not to return to Green Bay? Because clearly right now, we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to decide. We don't know if he's going to retire. We don't know if he's going to want to leave Green Bay. And we do not know if he is going to be back on the Packers coming into 2022. So, of course, with all three of those scenarios potentially likely, one scenario would likely lead to Jordan Love taking over the reins for the Green Bay Packers, whether Aaron Rodgers were to decide to retire or whether he were to decide to go to another team. So the question is Jordan Love ready to take over for the Packers? And there are definitely a few different things that I think we can look at so far from Jordan Love's time here in Green Bay. And I've seen lots of people saying that they don't think Jordan Love is good whatsoever and that he's not going to be good whatsoever. But personally, I think that it's too soon to really declare what exactly Jordan Love is going to be, because we've only seen him in, 3 to 5 games, something like that. I have his stats right here from the 2021 season. Of course, in week 1, he gets to play a little bit at the end, 5 for 7, 68 yards, 0 TDs, 0 interceptions. Then, of course, the biggest game where Aaron Rodgers goes down with COVID, he comes in and plays versus Kansas City, goes 19 of 34 for 190 yards, 1 touchdown, one interception. And I think in that game, lots of people came away thinking, okay, I guess going in actually at first, it was like, okay, if Jordan Love can come in here and have an elite performance, I think it'll give lots of fans and lots of other people, hope that Jordan Love can potentially, be the answer at quarterback in the future for the Packers. And I think in that game, it didn't necessarily bring that hope. It was an okay performance, not good, not the best performance. 55% completion percentage, not really going to cut it. And then he comes in and plays in Week 17, goes 2 for 4, 19 yards. And then Week 18, when the Packers lose to the Lions, when the Packers decide to rest lots of their starters in the second half, he goes 10 of 17, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. So overall in the season, he has 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And so with it being Jordan Love's second year in the league and sort of with that performance in the games that he did play, I think lots of people see that and sort of see how he performed and think there's no way that Jordan Love is going to be able to come in here and take over for the Packers and allow them to stay at the elite level they have been playing at for so long with Aaron Rodgers. And the thing is, I think with Jordan Love, clearly with him coming in 2020, lots of people were shocked that move happened, shocked that the Packers spent their first-round draft pick on a quarterback in Jordan Love. And from that point, there has just been this question, I guess, of, why do the Packers do that? Are they going to move away from Aaron Rodgers and move to Jordan Love? And I think we've seen just with the elite play of Aaron Rodgers these past couple seasons, the Packers may be thinking, okay, maybe we don't need to, rely on Jordan Love and move to him now. Because right now, from what we've heard in the past few weeks from Matt LaFleur, he was saying that the Packers are all in on Aaron Rodgers and want him to return, and he's basically their guy if he decides to return. So it seems like the front office right now wants to continue to move forward with Aaron Rodgers. So it sort of begs the question, okay, if that's the case, does that mean that, if Aaron decides to come back, are they going to sign him to an extension or rework his contract and, have some kind of extension? Because if that were to happen, you would think that maybe they would move on from Jordan Love if they plan to have Aaron Rodgers for the next, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever that could potentially be. And so with there being so many different scenarios right now, Aaron could return, he could not return, and if he doesn't return, it's likely going to be Jordan Love. And my takeaway on Jordan Love is that it's too soon to tell what his career is going to look like. Maybe it hasn't looked great so far, but I don't think you can judge him off of, basically 2 games. I don't think you can judge him off of 2 games from what we've seen. I think he still has a lot of room to grow, and there's definitely lots of things he needs to improve. But I think that, to really have a good idea of what he has to offer, I think you have to at least give him, full season, maybe a couple full seasons, because, sometimes maybe a quarterback does come in right away and just light up the league, and you're like, okay, this guy can play. But other times, I think it does take guys, some time to develop and grow, and I think it's too early to say Jordan Love is going to be a bust. I think we need to wait and see, sort of what is going to happen. And then I also want to look at a few other different things. So one of his issues, especially in college, was his interception throwing problem. So his first 2 years, for people who are watching on YouTube, you can see right here, 2017 at Utah State, he threw 8 TDs, 6 interceptions. 2018, an insanely good year, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Then 2019, 20 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. And so overall, in his 3 years there at Utah State, he threw 60 touchdowns and 29 interceptions. And I think when, you're a Packers fan and we've been getting to see Aaron Rodgers play for, 17, 18 years now, considering he is, one of the best all time when it comes to touchdown interception ratio, he just is very good at not putting the ball in harm's way. To see a guy, throw 60 touchdowns and 30 picks, I think it's a lot more like, oh, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see this guy throw interceptions. But so many other quarterbacks, throw way more interceptions than Aaron Rodgers. And if we just take a look at Brett Favre, because I feel like I forget, back in the day watching Brett Favre when I was growing up, like he would just sling it around and just throw it up into the air. If we look at Brett Favre's overall stats in his career, 508 touchdowns, which is insane, but he also threw 336 interceptions. So that's worse than a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. And I was curious to sort of see Brett Favre's first couple seasons with Green Bay and sort of how he performed, because I think lots of people are looking at Jordan and saying, oh, he would have showed something by now if he, was going to be good. But take a look here at Brett Favre's stats. So, of course, in 1991, he's on the Falcons, doesn't really do anything there. He throws 0 TDs, 2 interceptions on 4 attempts, which people probably then were like, this guy is terrible off of his 4 attempts, which I think is clearly way too early to tell him Brett Favre. But his first season in Green Bay in 1992, he starts in 13 games. He wins 8 games, loses 5 games. He throws for 3,200 yards, 18 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, so not the best touchdown-interception ratio there. 1993, he comes in, goes 9-7 with the Packers, throws for 3,300 yards, throws 19 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. So I was not around at this time. I was not yet in the world alive. But you'd have to assume, if for those of you guys who were here in 1993, when a quarterback throws 19 touchdowns and 24 interceptions, you're probably sitting there and thinking to yourself, like, is this guy really going to, take us to the Super Bowl? Is he really going to, have what it takes to take this team where it needs to go when he's throwing more interceptions than touchdowns? But then take a look at his next season. 1994, he comes in, throws 33 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. And then 1995, 38 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. So clearly we see the improvement that Brett Favre took after his first couple, full seasons in Green Bay. And I think for a guy like Jordan Love, I don't think you can judge him until we really see him get a full opportunity to play and, a full season, a full couple seasons, because sometimes it takes people time to develop and grow. And clearly, the front office and the scouts and all those guys like Brian Gutekunst, probably have an idea of what point you potentially give up on a player, because for me personally, like, I don't know exactly what that point is when you've watched him enough to think, okay, maybe he doesn't have what we thought he had when we drafted him. I don't know exactly what point you decide to cut ties with a quarterback, because I think, these days people want to see results right away, and if they don't see the results, they're like, okay, let's get rid of him. But from looking at Brett Favre and sort of how he, in his first couple of seasons, he was playing all right, but he really took a step forward in his third season in 1994 with the Packers. So I just think we need to slow down on Jordan Love and sort of wait and see what he has to offer before we decide to, move on from him, basically. Those are sort of my thoughts on the situation. Maybe the front office has a different idea. They've clearly seen more than we have as fans, because they see him at practice. They sort of know how he's developing and growing. So maybe they have a different idea, but I think that if you draft a guy in the first round, you have to give him some time to sort of see what he has to offer in a full season, in a full, real game, 17 game season scenario. So who knows, though, because Aaron Rodgers could be back. We may not even need to see Jordan Love, and maybe at that point, if Rodgers stays that long, you move on from him, but I don't know. But if he does not return, I think this next season, we just got to see what Jordan Love has to offer. But let me know in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're on Spotify right now, I am putting this podcast, or this YouTube video now podcast, on Spotify as well. So if you have Spotify, or if you are listening on Spotify, feel free to rate it 5 stars. It takes like 2 seconds. So if you do that, I would greatly appreciate it, because it really helps us push the podcast up the ranks. So feel free to do that. If you guys are watching on YouTube, feel free to drop a like as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.